Ask questions, kindly raise your hand. Today is day 8. We have day 22. We have 22 days left to the end of this training. Okay, so let's move on. Now, I have explained all those things. We look at freezing of pain. I told us I'm going to teach us this repeating of row heading, page numbering, and all those stuff. We also went further to look at transpose, how to transpose something, how to make the first column in a worksheet, okay, to exchange what is on that first column with what is on the first row. Okay, so we did that yesterday. It's very easy. Just select the area where you have the data. Once you select the area where you have the data, press your Control-C to copy it. Once you have copied it, then go to another area where you want that information to show. Just go and press right-click on that area you want the information to show. Once you right-click, then you select this Paste Special to show you some other dialog box where you select what you want to do. So even if you flip your mouse through it, you will see what you want to achieve. Okay, so that is that. We also went further to now look at certain other things that we felt was important for the lecture. We started with the sum. So once you understand the sum, I told us there are 3 ways in which we can actually sum, okay? But we should not forget that we must always prioritize when we are using the content of a worksheet, the content of a cell in our formula. Let's always use the content of a cell in our formula and not just type those figures themselves, okay? It's one way to say equal to so and so multiplied by plus so and so. Is another thing to say equal to 7,890 plus 2,000. I tell us don't do that. Now we are leaving that. We also went to sum if yesterday, and I told you that when you have sum if, you have like you are trying to send Excel on errand. You're telling Excel, go to so place and do these certain things. Okay, you are giving Excel instructions to perform. And I did that extensively yesterday. I also tried to explain to us that in case you want to send Excel to do something, you are telling Excel that, okay, Excel, go to the parlor. Let's assume you are in the house. Okay, you say, go to the parlor. Under the locker, you will see remotes. Okay, you see the remote, bring the battery inside the remote. So you are sending Excel a message. So what Excel does is that it gets to the parlor, start looking for the locker. Once it's able to identify the locker, then it knows that, okay, it's to locate the remote inside and extract the battery from it. So that's how Excel should be. So always think about Excel formulas that way. It makes you understand it more. So you personalize it, you make it an everyday activity. So we were able to do this yesterday, and I don't know if there's anyone on the call that is still finding it difficult to understand this formula. Okay, probably I can still go through it again, but let's leave that. Let's go to another place. Now we have some ifs too. We're trying to use some if now. When you are using some if, one very important thing about some if is that you might need to have some text at the middle. When you are using text in a formula, I told us that the text is to tell Excel that that thing is text. You must quote it, double column at the beginning, double column at the end. So for Excel to know that it's code. So if you look at this thing now, you are telling Excel that we say some if, okay, you go to C2, okay, to C22. So where is our C? This is our C, right? So from C2, this is our C2 here. So this is C2. C. Now when you talk about C2, you're talking about cell C2, where column C meets row 2. Okay, so that is C2. So in C2 now, you're saying from C2 to C22. So that's what you're telling Excel. So Excel is waiting for your instruction. Excel comes and checks C2 to C22. Then what are you telling Excel to do? You say if you see sec 60, that's what you are looking for. So sec 60, if you see sec 60, then go to E2. Where is our E2? This is our E. This is our E, right? So you're telling Excel, go to E2. If you can identify sec 60 in column C, then go to C2, right? You go to C2, then what we are trying to do, you are trying to sum the content of C2. You are checking the C2 to C22. Anything that relates to sec. For instance, sec now, where do sec and C22, where do they meet? They meet here. So Excel is going to pick this 71.66. Also check for another sec. You're also going to pick what? 75.96. It's also going to look for another sec and trace it to cell E. And you're going to see that that is 107.49 and so on and so forth. So that is how Excel is going to trace all the sec 60 to the corresponding figure in column C. Sorry, column E. I mean to say, at the end of the day, what will it do with them? It will sum them. So that is what we're able to achieve here, okay? Just simply say equal to sum if, open your bracket, select the range of the data. So let's do it together. I want you to understand it. So let's do it together. So I come over here and I said equal to, then you type your sum if, right? Once you type any function, you have to open your bracket, right? Open your bracket, then select the range of the data you want to work with. I want to work with this place. I'm looking for something. I'm looking for something in this column C. Okay, the whole of column C. I'm looking for something there. Once you're done selecting the range of your data, then press your comma. When you press your comma, the next thing is that in this our cell C, what are we actually looking for? Let's assume we want to look for XTPG 400. So when I say we open our double quote, right? We now say STPG 400. You now close the double quote. You close the double quote. Once you have done that, you now put another comma again. Okay, you put another comma. Then you're now going to select what you want Excel to add. So if Excel goes to cell C2 and he sees anywhere that there is XTPG 400, it will come to the corresponding side under column, under this place, right? So here we want to add information that are here. So you come to where the information are, you select as well, you drag it to where the information ends. So once you've done that, then the next thing, you want to close your bracket. Once you close your bracket, then you hit on the enter key, and automatically Excel has gone to check the whole of column C, and under column C, he identified where we have this XTPG 400. He identified it. So we have one here. Is there any other one? There's another one here, right? So he understands, he went there, and then he will now check opposite it to where he is. So he's going to sum all the things that relates to STPG 400 in cell E, in column E. So that's what he's going to do. At the end of the day, you're going to have this answer. So that is what they did over here, and we don't need to waste our time going over and over and over and over about it. So that's what we are able to achieve. Sorry, this is this subtotal. This subtotal. So let's see. All right, so this is total. Fine. Okay. Let me check here. Okay, so let's also move downward. Let's move downward. So you can see the same information we have. We can achieve anything by just carrying out those prompts that we need. Okay, we can achieve anything by carrying out those prompts that we actually need. So all you need to do is just continue to practice it. Once you continue to practice it, you are going to achieve it, right? You're going to achieve it. Okay, so let's go further. Let's check the right. Let's see there's another place where a formula is needed. So you can see STPF102 is what we are looking for. So let me come to this side. So here now we are going to D33 to D79. So first we'll start with if. We say equal to sum if. We now open our bracket. What are we looking for? We're looking for information from D33. So let's trace up. Where is our D33? Looking at this side. So this is your 33, right? So you now come to D33. You click on D33. So we are going straight to D79. So we drag down to where we continue to go, D79. Okay, so this is where the information stops. So we have done that. Then you now put a comma. After you've done that, put a comma. Oh, that is not what I want to press. So let me press escape. Okay, so you now put a comma. After you put a comma, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Let me scroll up. You put a comma. When you put a comma, you know that you want to put something that looks like a text. So you now put the open column. Then you type what you want to look for. You are looking for STP F103. You close. Once you're done with the text, you double quote it, right? Then you put another comma. Then you now select the range of the other data. You need data from F33 to F79. Just go straight to where F is. This F. Just click on the first F33. Then you see that there are some matching ants beside the stuff. So you just drag down to where the end of the information is, and at the end of the day, you now close your bracket because you're done, right? You close your bracket, you click on enter. Automatically, you're going to get what your answer should be. So what Excel did is that Excel went from column D33 to D79. He searched for this word, right? For this text, I mean to say. Now, anywhere he saw that text in this our worksheet, he now trace the corresponding figure, corresponding data, okay? He trace it to F33, F to F79. Then he added everything together. So that is for that. We are done with sum if. We are done with the sum if function. So the next thing we are going to now, we are now going to something else. We are going to the subtotal. Remember, under the mathematical function, the subtotal is the last that we're going to look at. Okay, so how does the subtotal works? Let's come to the beginning of our worksheet. So every exercise, we have an explanation. So yeah, this is a subtotal, is a mathematical function, right? It's a math function. Now here, what does it do? Returns a subtotal in a list or database. So it usually returns a subtotal in a list or in a database. It generally is generally easier to create a list with subtotal by using the subtotal command in the outline group on the data tab. Once the subtotal list is created, you can modify it by editing the subtotal function. So here, this is the function argument, function, then value range. So let's now come and look at what we are looking at. Here, we have subtotal. Okay, we have subtotal. We open our brackets. We now say G, right? G. Then what we now say is that we now say, also we are not talking about, we have put our G, we put our comma. We now said I13 to I16. So let's look at what they did here. Let's come over here. So here you can see they say equal to subtotal. Oh, that is not G, that is 9. That is 9. Okay. So let's look at what the function that it does, right? The function that it does. So you now come here, we now say equal to subtotal, we now put 9, right? When we put 9, we now tell it that from I3, where's our I3? This is our I3, okay? Our I3 to I6. So this is our I6, right? This is our I6. So we are trying to get the subtotal for those places. Now, when you are doing subtotal, all this number represents something. All this number represents something. So when you see 9, it represents something. When you see 2, it represents something. And when you see all those things, it represents something. So let's try and test something. Okay, so when you say, because this is your same subtotal, you can either use it to sum, you can use it to count, you can use it for average, you can use it for different things. So it depends on what number you are putting at the beginning will determine what Excel is going to produce for you. So it means that if for instance, with one set of data that I'm picking, I can do many things for that set of data. All I need to do is that just go to that my formula and start editing. I know that if I want to sum, if I want to give Excel a command to sum, okay, all I need to do is that use the subtotal. Once I use the subtotal, and I know that okay, 9 represents sum. 9 represents that okay, go and sum. However, 2 represents that Excel should count. Okay, 2 representing count. We have selected our range, our data range. So let me show us something. Let me quickly show us so that we understand what is happening. So I come over here to a blank space, right? After knowing that when you're using subtotal, you need to also put a number at the beginning before you select your data range. That number will tell Excel what you want Excel to do. It's just like when you have a template. There's a template that is already on ground. All you need to do is that just adjust that template to what you want to achieve. So this subtotal is functioning like a template. Whatever you want to achieve with that template, all you need to do is that just indicate it, put a prompt. The prompt is all this number. The first number you can see is 9. The first number you can see here is 2. The first number you can see here is 1. The first number you can see here is 5. The first number you can see here is 4. So let's now list them out. So let's list the first one we have here. The first number here is 9. So let's put 9. So just know that that subtotal is like a template. It's the same formula you're going to use, but the number you're going to put before you select the data range determines what you want to do with that data range that you have selected. If you want to sum that data range that you have selected, put 9 before it. So let me now do something. So 9, that is 9. The other one is 2. The other one is 1. The other one is 5. The other one is, what is the last one? I think the last one should be like 4. So we have those. So these are all. So total, they have all these 9 represent that sum. So when you're using a subtotal, and then you're going to say equal to subtotal, you open your bracket. 9 is representing, it's like telling Excel, go and add. 9 is like giving Excel an instruction. I want you to add. However, if you type 2 there, it's like giving Excel an instruction that go and count. You want it to count. So if I want to, whatever I want to do, all I need to do is that if I don't even know any other formula, let me just know the subtotal formula. Okay, then the next thing I will now need to also know is that all these numbers, what do they represent when I use them in my subtotal? 9 will always represent that Excel should add. 2 will always represent that they should count. 1 is telling them get the average. 5, you are telling Excel get the minimum number, right? And then 4, you are telling it get the maximum number. So you need to, when you are trying to learn subtotal is just a general formula, just like the way we have equal to sum. You open your bracket, but the only thing that makes subtotal unique is that this subtotal, you don't only use it for one particular function. You can use it for as many functions as possible, provided you know the command to put. The command now is these numbers that we're putting at the front. So now, to not do anything, okay, let me do something. So let me come and do something. Let me say I want to sum, right? So I hope we are together, and I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Who has grabbed what I'm trying to explain? Has anybody grabbed what I'm trying to explain, or I need to throw more light on it? So let's say I come to this place. You can see where my cursor is, right? Can you see my cursor? Please unmute.
Yes.
All right. So this is my cursor, right? So now I said that the subtotal is just like a template. The template will not change. The only thing that will change is that you can just edit it, and you get what you want to get. Edit it, you get another result. Edit it, get another. So let's say the first thing is just say equal. Start every formula with equal to, right? When you say equal to, then type your subtotal. So once you type your subtotal, open the bracket. Then you now ask yourself, what do I want to do? Do I want to add? If you want to add, if it's sum, you want to sum, put 9. 9 represents adding. You can see. Okay, let me also now come here. So I think you need to learn all these things. Look at all these things. If you press the subtotal, you can see I'm scrolling down. Let me leave this place and let me do something again. Let me undo this stuff. Let me undo this. So we need to learn all those figures, right? That and what it represents. So let me come to the top here. Let me put equal to, right? Let me now put my subtotal. So subtotal, you open your bracket, and then it starts telling you that when you put one represents average, two represents count, three represents counter, four represents maximum, five represents minimum, six represents product, seven represents I don't know what this is, eight represents this, nine represents to sum. Okay, standard deviation. The first one is standard deviation. Standard deviation. Okay, like that. Then the next one we have sum. We have is it variance? Like that. Then you scroll down. So we're going to list it out. How many do we? So we have as many as possible. So the first one is from number 1 to orderly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So from 1 to 11, that is the first distance. So let's learn it. So what I'm going to do is that, can somebody screenshot it? So I'm going to first of all screenshot the first one. So the first one is number 1 to number 11. So screenshot that first. So we are going to. So I'm going to type it out on the keyboard. Has anybody will screenshot it yet? Somebody should screenshot it. And this is what I want you to screenshot. This thing, you can see this thing that I am scrolling down. This thing I'm scrolling. You know what I want you to screenshot. So 1 to 11 first, snap it, right? If you have snapped it, let me know you have snapped it. Has everybody done that? It's like I'm in this call alone. Nobody's responded.
No, some people have done that. Some people have done that.
Okay, thank you very much.
You, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So then I will now scroll down. So the first one is we've checked 1 to 11. Then let me now scroll down. Then we now snap the other one. So the other one now is 101 to 111. So let's go. Somebody should screenshot it also and put it on the group. So the first one is 1 to 11. The other one is 101 to 111. So that's how it is. 1 to 11, 101 to 111. So they did it in a way that you can never miss it if you can master it. So that's just it. So if you are done with that, let me know and put it on the group. Then we can always make use of it at all times. So it means, therefore, let me scroll up. If you check the top, the first, so let me click away from here. Let me undo, escape, and let me redo it again. I want to do equal to, when I say subtotal, then you open your bracket, then the first number is what I want to check. The first number is average. So the first number is the same thing you have from 1 to 11 is what we are repeating from 101 to 111. So it's the same thing. It does not change. It does not change. So you don't need to bother yourself from 101 to 111. Just learn from 1 to 11. From 1 to 11, learn it. So if you come and check here, your C's is always going to be product. So the 100 is just like, it's the same thing. It's just like saying 101, 102. It's the same thing you are doing from 1 to 11. So simply learn from 1 to 11. So I will now type it out in our worksheet. Somebody should call it out for me. So we're only doing from 1 to 11. So let's come over to, let me do it again. I want to check something. Equal to subtotal, then open my bracket, returns a subtotal in a list or database. So I now come and do it like this. So I now say function number reference, function number. So it's function number. So when I come over here, let's now list out all the subtotals that we have. So here we are looking at the what we want to achieve. The first one, if you want to sum, oh no, let me not start with summing. Let's start with number 1. What is number 1? Number 1 should be average, right?
Yes, average.
Okay, so average. Average. So that is number one. Okay, so let's know it. That is number one. Number two should be what? What is number two?
Count.
So number two is count. That is represented by number two. Number three is what? Counter. Am I right? Is it counter?
Yeah.
Counter. Number four is so this is
maximum number.
I'm coming. Sorry, 1, 2, then 3. Then the next one is 4. The next one will be 5. The next one will be 6. The next one will be 7. The next one will be 8. The next one will be I jumped. This is 7. Okay, I need to even autofill instead of me jumping. Let me just autofill. Okay, so 7, 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's not adding. So let me do something. Let me press my control and drag down. Let me see if it's going to work. Okay, so at times now this your sheet is it has macro is enabled, right? Or maybe because we are on this call, and normally when you select two numbers and you get this plus sign that you have, when the plus sign, naturally the plus sign is usually white. Once the plus sign turns to black, okay, then you can right click and drag it down. Automatically it's going to start counting from 7. You now start seeing 8, 9, 10 and all that. But at times your formula will not work that way. And that thing you can also do is that when you want to, because there are no pre-made lists on Excel, no pre-made lists for numbers. They are the one that will go to make it to be an adding. So if you want to make 6 and you want to get maybe you need 1 million from 1, you're trying to get 1 to 1 million. You cannot start typing 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't do that. You are going to waste time. So the best way to do is that once you put your cursor on the number you want to add, put your cursor at the bottom. When it's changed to this black plus, right? Then hold your control key. You discover that the plus will become 2. You can see that the plus sign has become 2. Okay, once it becomes 2, right click and then you drag it to the bottom. Naturally, that will give you the answer you're looking for. But at times, the workbook you are using may not enable you to achieve that. But it doesn't mean that it's wrong. If you open a new workbook, let me press Ctrl N now to open a new workbook. So Ctrl N, let's try it here. So there are no pre-made lists for numbers. So we just stay here without saying, okay, let's increase this thing to 20. So you cannot start typing 1, 2. So when you put your plus sign and the plus sign becomes black, hold your control key and then you see another plus sign will show on it. It becomes 2 plus sign. Then you now you right click and drag to the bottom. Then you leave your right click first. You can see. So it is the Excel sheet I'm using that did not give me that response. There are times that you are trying something and you're not getting it. Just open a new worksheet. Just press Ctrl N to get a new worksheet. It doesn't mean that your formula is wrong. It just means that your worksheet, something is fundamentally wrong with it. So it means that this worksheet and expect us that we should now type manually. So after 6 we have 7. After 7 we have 8. After 8 we have 9. After 9 we have 10. After 10 then we have the last one to be 11. So that is that. So number 4 should be what? Number 4 should be, what's number 4? Maximum, right? Max. Number 5 should be minimum. Number 6, what's number 6? Can you see what number 6 is? Okay, so I leave that to you as your assignment. I leave that to you as your assignment. I'm going to share this sheet with you. You have to now populate it till we get to 11. So you know that these are the numbers that you use when you're using your subtotal. So if you can learn all these numbers from number 1 to number 11, and you know what each of them are doing, then you can use your subtotal confidently. Probably you want to count. I told us that when you're using count, you're counting numbers. But when you're using counter, you are counting text, right? You're counting text. Then let's now start working. So the first thing we want to do, we want to sum. We already know that 9 represents sum. So this number 9 represents that we need to sum, right? So that's how we need to, that's why we need to fill in all this place so that we understand what we are told or what we needed to do. Okay, so I'm coming, let me copy painter and put it all. Yeah. Okay, so number 9 is miss sum and all that. So we want to sum now. So we want to sum. Let's cancel out what is inside here. We want to sum. So naturally, just like any formula, just say equal to, then you now say subtotal. Once you type your subtotal, open your brackets, right? Then what do I want to do? Do I want to add? Do I want to get average? Do I want to count? Is it counting? I want to count, okay, and all that. So you now say, okay, I want to add. You now say, okay, I want to add. So you not tell Excel, I want to add. By putting that 9, you are telling Excel what you want to do. If you don't put that figure, Excel doesn't know what you want it to do. So you have to put that figure there. Okay, 9 representing that. Excel, I want to add this. I want to add. Once you put 9, put a comma, then go and select the data you want to add. I want to add year to year. I want to add year to year. Once you have done that, then you can close your bracket and press your enter. Automatically, it will go and add all the things that are inside here for you. The next thing, you want to count, right? So we need to know which of the numbers from number 1 to 11 represent count. No, that is no, 2 represent count. So we now come here, we now put equal to, we say subtotal, we open our bracket, then we tell Excel what we want to do. What do we want to do? We want to count. What represent count? 2 represent count. So we put our 2, we put our comma, then we want to select what we want to count. We select it. We want to count the data in this place. Then we now close our bracket. So we have told Excel what we want to do. We want to count. We click enter. So you can see Excel has gone there to count. Now let's now try something else. Let's say I want to count also, okay, and I want to count all these names. Who can tell me what to use? I want to count these names. Who can tell me what to use? Can somebody guide me? Let's say I want to count. I want to count all these names, right? So in this place, I'm going to put something. I want to count all these names. So let me come here and let me come here and press Ctrl D. Fine. So now I want to clean this face. I want to count also. Count. I want to count, but this time I want to count what is here. These names. I want to count these names. So what formula should I use? Who can guide me? What formula should I use?
You can use COUNTA.
COUNTA. Very beautiful. So you're now saying equal to subtotal. Then what? I open my bracket. Then what number am I going to press? That demand the answer. What number will I put to tell Excel that I want to count names? What number will I put?
Hold on. You can use 3. 3.
Yeah, you put 3. So 3 is telling Excel that I want to count to, but what I'm counting is not numbers, it is text. So once you put 3, you put your comma, then you go and select the range of where the data is. You're counting all these things. This is what we're counting. At the end of the day, you close your bracket and you now press enter. So it has gone to count. It has gone to count, but this time around, it's not counting numbers. It actually counted text. Okay, I just felt that you should know that. So with this, I believe we all understand how to use subtotal. It's as easy as ABC. It's as easy as ABC. If there's anybody on this call that does not understand it, kindly reach out. Let me throw more light on it. Okay, you can always tell me I don't understand, then I will throw more light on it. So thank you. So let's assume that we are done with the mathematical function. We are done with that. So let's go back to our worksheet. We have this worksheet we are using. So this is the next thing we are going to go to is it the dates or something like that? So let's now come here. to our function information. So under our function information, we are done with the first logical function, which we have treated. We are done with the statistical function. Okay. We also went further today to look at the mathematical function, which is from yesterday to today. That is the math function, not mathematical, just call it math function. We've looked at all the things that are here, right? So now this one, they say round up. When you have round up, it rounds a number up away from 0. Why? When you use round down, round a number up away towards 0. So we can try that on our own. You can try that on your own. Try the round, try all these ones on your own. So at your own spare time. So we are moving away from there. We are going to another function today. We are done with this one. So anyone we are done with, I'm going to color it. We are done the statistical function, and I believe everybody understands it. We've done all these. So let me press F4. F4 normally repeats an action that you have performed on your worksheet. So I press F4. I can also come here also, and let me try and press F4 again. F4. You see, F4 will always repeat the last action that you performed. So we've done mathematical function. Let me also press here and come and press F4. F4 will always repeat the last loss, or what am I saying? Okay, so that's that. Then we now come to this one. This is where we are now. We're looking at the date. This should be the date function. Okay, so this is the date function. So let me come and put date function. Should I type date function there? Let me type it there. So date, when you're dealing with date function. So the date function is what we have over here, and we normally wrap the test. Okay, so let's wrap the test the way they've been doing it before. Let's come to the home tab and come and click on. Okay, it's actually wrapped, so that means it's not longer than that space. That's why it's like that. Okay, fine. So today we are looking at the date function. Then I think the next time we still have the text function. Then we have lookup function. So learn it like that. We've done the logical. Let me come here and also paint it that we've done the logical function. We've done the statistical function. We've done the math function. We are looking at the date function now. Then after date function, I'm sure the next step is we are looking at text function. Then we'll now come to lookup function. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah, so let's go to the next one. We're looking at the date function, and it's important for you to learn them because they will come in handy to you in some formulas. Now, most of these things we are learning it individually, but there are times that they will nest it into a long formula. If you don't understand if you don't understand them bit by bit, you may not understand what is happening in that big formula. Now, today, you've understood subtotal, and I'm sure you can use subtotal anytime, any day. Just understand what number 1 to number 11 represent, and then you're good to go. So today we now come over here. We're looking at the date function. The first one is what we call noun. Okay, now we have today, we have network days, we have network days too. So yeah, so let me go up. So all these things are all things we're going to work on. So let's look at it now. So when you're using now, you are trying to tell Excel that now at this moment, okay, you're telling Excel at this moment. So it's like a formula. You're asking Excel what you can. For instance, if you don't know today's date, for instance, you don't know today's date, you don't also know the time that we are now. You can quickly press in your worksheet, just press equal to now, open your bracket, close your bracket. Inside the bracket, we don't put anything inside the bracket. When we are trying to get the now function, we're trying to get the today function, we don't put anything inside the bracket, okay? So this now function will not only give you the date, it also give you the time. So if you want to not only get the date that we have, you also want to get the time, just quickly press in a place, just say equal to, you start with equal to, then say now, open your bracket and close your bracket. You won't put anything inside the bracket. then click on enter. And you can see it's telling us that today's date is actually February 4th, 2026, and the time is actually 7:50, right? So that's what it says. So you can see that in your worksheet or wherever you are, the time may have changed from 7:50. The time may have changed to like 7:51 and all that. So at times you might need to let Excel recalculate. If Excel does not recalculate, it will not. If Excel does not recalculate, it will not actually get the answer. Okay, it will not actually get the answer that you are trying to get. Okay, so that is that, and yeah, so that is the now function. It tells us not only the date, it also tells us the time that we are currently. Then the next one is to get just today. Just say equal to today. Open your bracket, close your bracket, you're going to get today's date. Then the next one, if you want to get the day of the week that we have, just say equal to, you start with text, right? Then you open your bracket. So this is I'm coming. Yeah, so F5. Yeah, so it's actually working on this formula. So this is equal to the text. We want what is in this our bracket. It has given us today's date already. So want to ask ourselves, this date that we have, what day is this? So that's where we now say, okay, we want you to turn it to the day of the week, whether it's Monday, it's Tuesday or Wednesday. So we now come here, when I say equal to text, we now go and select the place where hold on, no. Okay. Yeah, so what we do is that we want to go and get today's date, right? Hold on, I'm coming. Just give me 2 minutes. Two minutes, please. All right, so yeah, I'm back. So now we want to we've seen these dates, but we don't still know whether today is Monday or today is Tuesday or today is Wednesday. So we now come and use this formula. We come here, we now say, give me this answer in text. We now say equal to text. Now you see that now that we're using text is the name of a function also. Equal to text, we now close the bracket. Then we now go and select what are we trying to turn to text. We're trying to turn this thing to text. We now click on it. Okay, when you have done that, you now press your comma, right? When you press the comma, then you now open your what's it called? Then put the date 1, 4, 2, 3, and 4. Then at the end of the day, I think you have to close it and press enter. Okay, so here it's saying that for date, they say we found a typo in your formula and try to correct it to this. Yes.
Because you did not close your quotation mark.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. So now you can see that if you want this thing to give you a full spelling, you use double, like the D should be 4. If you want it to give you abbreviation, you have to reduce the D. So let's come and reduce the D. Let's try it again. We say equal to, right? We say text. We now say what do you want to turn to text? We want to turn this date to text. So put an open bracket, right? You open the bracket, select what you want to turn to text, this date, where that formula is. You want to turn to text, you now put your comma, right? You now open your quotes, right? You now put, if you put 2 or 3, let's put 3, let's close our bracket and let's see what it's going to give us. Then we'll close this this way again. So it gave us abbreviation. It abbreviated it to Wednesday. So if you put 4, it's gonna give us the Wednesday complete. It will spell it completely. Okay, so that's how you can do what you have over there. So I hope there is nobody that is lost. I hope we all understand. So it therefore means that if you were born in a date now, somebody should give me any day, any date, any day, any day. Somebody should give me any day. Let's say we are looking at somebody should give me any date. You want to quickly remember this person. Let's assume you just know somebody's date of birth, right? Maybe somebody say is date of birth is let's say it's talking about 4 representing months, right? For the that is on the April 4th, let's say 27. They will not say 1990. Okay, 1990, sorry, 1990, yes. So that is what is here. Okay, so you want to tell what day is this? What date is this? So you just equal to, oh, sorry, I don't want to, sorry. You now come here, you now say, okay, what day is actually this? Equal to, or maybe somebody brought something and you wrote, you wrote, you know, there are times that when income are coming in, you capture it. This income came on so date. This other one came on so date. So if you want to get what is actually that date that it actually came, what day is it? What day? Just say equal to, then you now type your text. You now open your bracket, then select where the information is, the date that we're talking about. Select the date, put a comma. When you put a comma, then do you want to get the full spelling of that day, or do you just want to get a shortcut? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Close your bracket. Then close the quote. Then you now close your bracket. So this will help you to be able to know. You can't remember what day is it. So look at it now. This date, April 27th, 1990, was actually a Friday. So you can easily know the day that the person was born. If somebody was born in 1980, for instance, and the person cannot remember, is it Monday? Is it Sunday that you were born? Is it so date? 1980. Let's say 1980, right? Nigeria got our independence when? October 1st, right? 1980. Am I right? Or 1960? What did Nigeria get our independence? Somebody should tell me. October 1st, 1960. Okay. So 1960. Now you want to tell what day is that day. So you now press it. So it's telling you that day is Saturday. So what do? You say equal to text, open your bracket, select the place that the information is, then press your comma. When you do that, then if you want it to give you the full spelling of that day, you can do that. But if you don't want it to give you the full spelling, you can only use 3 Ds and you get abbreviation. So let's try and use just 2 Ds. Let's see what will happen. If you use only 2D, we come here, we now say equal to. So now if anybody should ask you now, what day did Nigeria get our independence? Not only the date, you should also know the day. You don't need to start checking your calendar. Okay, let me go and check my calendar. What day will that be? Okay, you can easily tell that. So equal to text. I want to test something, okay? Equal to text, open your bracket, then select where the information is. Select what the data, where the information is. I selected it, then I put my comma. Then I want to use, I want to put D in the formula. So let me put only 1 D. Let me see what will happen. And I close it. Then I close the bracket. And I enter. Oh, okay. So it gave me number instead. It gave me number instead. So that means that it's also counting. Anyway, let's not because if there is anything like that, if you have given me the range of the day of those things, just like we have subtotal, right? So let's try two Ds. Let's see what will happen. Text. Then we now open. So you say convert a value to text in a specific number format, so you can understand. So that is what text does. In case you want to learn what the text function does, it converts a value to text in a specific number format. We now say equal to that. We now open our bracket. Then we select the data. We select the data we want to use. Then we now put a comma. Then the next thing is that we now put our open quote. Let's put only 2 Ds. Let's see what will happen. We close the quote. Then we now close this. And 01. Okay, it's not bad. Okay, it's not bad. So that's that. I'm sure you understand what we've done. Now that is for to get today's date with the time. You can press equal to now, close, open and close your bracket. To get today's date only without the time, equal to today, open and close your bracket. Now to not get the day of the week, whether it's Monday or Wednesday or whatever, put equal to the text, open your bracket, select where you have that date that you want to ask, whether the date is Wednesday or Tuesday or whatever. Select that place, that cell, okay? Is that cell? That cell is F5 in this kind of case. But in your own case, it may not be S5, okay? So you now put a comma, open your double quotation mark, then and that you want to do, you want to close your double quotation mark, close your double quotation. Oh, so it's going down. Okay. So that means it's actually here, but it's just not showing properly. So let me do something like dragging this in like this. Oh, it's still not showing. It's here actually, but it's not showing. So let me come here. Let me do something like this. Okay, it's not showing. Fine. Maybe it's not supposed to wrap around. So let me select and not let it wrap around. So let me come here to home. It's not wrapping around actually. Okay. So that's that, everybody. That is that. So any question? Any question?
Excuse me.
Okay.
Please, I still don't understand why the 10/1/1960 is not showing the day. I didn't understand what to say could have been responsible.
10/1/1960. Which of them? This one?
Yeah.
It showed. Now it showed.
The day.
It did.
It's showing
It showed.
one.
It showed. Is the D I use? I didn't put the actual. It's either you use 3Ds or use 4. I only use one. I only use
Repeat
2.
it, please. Repeat it, please. I don't want to say sorry.
Okay, so I put equal to. This is what I did. Equal to, and I put text. When I put text, I open my bracket. I select where the information is. When I've selected where the information is, I put a comma, right? I'm supposed to do open quote, right? Double quote, then put the Ds. You can either use 3Ds or use 4Ds. If you use anything less than that, it will not give you the desired result. So if you use only one D, it's only going to count that place. I mean, what is in that place? Only one date is there. Okay, so it's only going to count, right? So when you put that, then you want to make sure you put either 3Ds like this, or for abbreviation, or put 4Ds to completely spell the day of that week. Then you close the bracket and put enter. Do you understand this, sir?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so that is that. Then for our date, we come over here. For our date here, so while we are looking at this, just give me 2 minutes. Let me quickly power the solar so that my laptop will not go off. If you take the bottom of my screen, you see that my laptop is already showing that is 18%, and I don't want it to go off. Cool. You can see 18%. Let me quickly switch on the solar. Just give me 2 minutes. Thank you. 2 minutes. So while I'm away, you can just get yourself busy with what is on the board, or also try to practice. Try and practice where you are. It will take me more than 2 minutes. All right, so I'm back now. Let's continue. So yeah, we are looking at the date, which we already know how to. We've looked at how to get the now, right? Now we know how to get today. We also know how to get this one, which we are going to practice on our own. The next one we are looking at dates. So let's look at what it represents. So here we have this is date. The function name is date. So what does it do? Returns the sequential serial number that represents a particular date. If the cell format was general before the function was entered, and the result is formatted as a date. So now we can use it for year, month, and day. So let's quickly check what we need to do. So now we already understand this, which we've already worked on. So I don't need to explain this any longer. You know that if you're using this one now, you are going to get just abbreviation. So calculate the day of the week for the date. So that is what we came to do here. So this formula we have here now is for the date to tell us whether today is Wednesday, today is Monday, and you can see that here when you have four D's, it will give you the complete. It will complete. Let me add another D to it. It will make the stuff. It will spell it fully. But if you only use 3 Ds, it will not spell it fully. So that is what the date is about. So that's what it's about that they're talking about. Okay, so that's what it's about. So you clearly come and put here, you want to check what day of the week was 19th of February 2013. Just quickly come here and say equal to, open your, so equal to, yes, then you now say text. You start with text, open your bracket, select where the data is. Once you select where the data is, put your comma, then you open your double quote. Then what do you want to put? Either put 3 Ds or put 4D over there. So let's put 3 Ds, not put 1, 2, 3. Then you close the quote, close your bracket and press enter. So you see that this date was a Tuesday, and then this other date over here, Control D. When you press Control D replaces, copies the formula at the top to the bottom. So Control D now, we press Control D, it copies the formula at the top to the bottom. That's how they say this date was actually a Thursday. This one was a Tuesday. So the same thing goes for when you now use 4 Ds. When you use 4D, it's going to spell out everything fully. When you use 4D, it will spell out everything fully. So 4D, it will spell out everything fully. Okay, so that's that. So let's now go on to the next thing we need to do. Let's check other things in this workbook. Okay, in this workbook, we have we have all these numbers. Fine, we have all these numbers there. So use dates now. Okay, so look at dates. You want to get, for instance, and that you want to do is when you are using date, you can also use date as a function. You can use date as a function. How do you do that? How do you do that? You now come here. So you come here now. What you do is that you already know that the day is day 1, the month is month 3, which is January, February, March, and the year is this. So if you want to combine it together to make the dates, for instance, you know that, okay, day 1, we learned so and so. What month is it? Month 3. What year? Like that. But in case you have different things like that, and then you want to make a date out of it, right? So if you to start editing them or to start saying, okay, 3/1/2009, you can simply use this date formula. Just come here and say equal to date, open your bracket, then you select each of the places that the data is. Select this one, put a comma, select this one, put another comma, select this one. Then at the end of the day, you close your brackets. You close your bracket, then enter. So you can see what it did. Why you put equal to date, right? You now open your bracket, select where the information is. So that is what we did over here, okay? Equal to date, then we select information, we put comma, we selected the other information, we put comma, selected the last information, we put a comma. No, the last information, don't put a comma, okay? Don't put a comma in the last information. Then you just simply click on enter. So let's press Ctrl tilde, and let's go and check what we have in that place. So you see what we have? It's telling us that we have day, at month, and the last one at year. So that's what it's actually telling us. So with that being said, that is that. Is there anybody that is confused about this? It's just easy. Just press your equal to date, open your bracket, then select where the data is. Data is here. Put a comma. Select the other data. Put a comma. Select the last data. You don't need to put a comma again. Since that's the last data, just close your bracket and then you are good to go. Okay, so that's how to use the date function. And then it's going to give you, it's going to match everything together and make out a date out of it. Now, I can see that this thing is not giving me the right thing. So why is that? Why is it not giving me the right thing? I guess something is wrong. Why is it not giving me the right thing? I'm coming, let me check. I'm coming. Yeah, somebody's hand is up. Do you have any question?
Yeah, that's exactly my question, sir.
Okay. Oh, I get it now. I get it. Okay, so it's reversal. It's not, you don't do it from the top, from the front to, you don't do it from G to you don't do it from F to year. Start from the last, you always start from year first. It's year you start from first. So you always start from year. Okay, start from the year first. So we now come here, we now say equal to, right? Now say date. Open your bracket. Now you always start, don't start from the, I think it depends on the format of your laptop, the way you set your date. Remember, date, the way you set your date is what matters. So here, let us start with what the year is. What is our year? Our year is this. Put a comma. Okay. Then what's our month? This is our month. Put a comma. Then what is our day? Our day is this. Then you now close your bracket. So that's what you're going to do. Then you click on enter. So you can see that automatically it has answered what we want it to do. So if it's going to, you are always going to start from year, not from day. So pick your day, your year, pick your month, pick your day, pick your year, pick your month, pick your day, your year, your month, your day. That's how you're going to do it, and you get the answer correctly. Do we all understand that? Yeah, somebody answers up. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, sir. Thank you so much. My question is there a way the date function can work if the day, the month, the year are not already in the sheet?
No. It cannot work. It can't work. Yeah, you have to. It has to. Excel functions, they always work with data. That's why I tell you that anytime you see any worksheet, press Ctrl tilde to see whether there's any formula in the worksheet. There's no formula in the worksheet, then that thing you are given is just a data set that you need to populate other reports, right? So you must always have, Excel cannot just manually go on, except if you want to get today's date, right? You can also use that. You can say, okay, what's today's date? You can quickly put equal to today. You can put equal to today here. No, which is not even going to work. Let me go and show you. If you come over here, I go and put equal to today, it's going to give you the total, the same. So it's going to give you like this, but that's not what we want to achieve. want to achieve the year separately, in a situation whereby you have different columns, you are capturing year separately, you're capturing the month separately, you're capturing the day separately. Then if you want to now merge it together to make it a date, now you know that here you are capturing the days of the week. Day one, I went day one, okay. Then what month? Third. What year? 2009. So if you want to make it come together, just like the way we also concatenate, you can have a name of somebody as surname. You know, some people when they are trying to capture those things, they say, okay, write your surname here, write your middle name here, write your last name, your first name there. So if you want the names to come together as one, okay, you can use concatenate. Just like this date. Now, this date is just like adding them together to make it a date. And instead of it to be separate like this, you are making them come together as a date. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. So let's move on to the next one. Today. We've done today before, and I don't think this is going to give us any challenge. So now this is how to get it equal to today. You have always start everything with equal to, then the function uses, it always enters the right date, the current date. That's what it always enters. Okay, so here now we have some, okay, so here we have some dates, and here we have today equal to today. Today, this is today, right? So we're using today's date here. We're using delivery date. So maybe like they deliver some products to us. The first day they deliver is, now you want to ask, probably you bought some things, right? And then you need to pay on them. You want to know, what day am I supposed to pay them? How many days is remaining? We've used this one before for one of our formulas, but we didn't do it like this, right? We didn't do it like this, okay? But this is another method. You bought something. Now, this one is always going to calculate based on the actual date that you are. Every date we like tomorrow now. Tomorrow is 5th of February. So since you imputed that today formula inside here, it's going to change this into 5th of February. So automatically this thing starts to change. The remaining days continue to change every day. Now it has gotten to negative because it has gotten to negative. So what they did is that the day that the product was delivered, okay, this date the product was delivered, then as of today, how many days is remaining? Okay, it can be like your vehicle insurance, right? And then it's delivered today. When I say, okay, how many days is remaining? Something like that. So that is what is it all to be. So that's how we got it over here. So just say this date minus this date, you're also going to get the remaining days, right? So the date they deliver to you minus today, you're going to get the days that are remaining. Okay. So I want to believe that we all got this and we can move on from here. Anybody has any question? Can we move on from here? So let's move on from here. I believe we all got it. So it's just to put in today's date, and then you now say the date of delivery minus today. Okay, you get what is here. So that's that. So let's now come over here and we'll say that yeah, so here we're looking at network days. So equal to today is here. You know, that one enters the current date. Then yeah, so that's that. Then the next thing, you know, we have today, we have a lot of things here on this our formula. Then let's check a lot of, so let's check it from the top first. We know that when we have equal to today, we know what we are doing. Then we know we also got this many days. Then the next thing is not talking about network day. So look at network days. How do you get your network days? Just say network days, open your bracket, and you put these network days remaining. network days remaining. So what do we actually do? Let's okay, let me come back to this place. Let me see. Let's come to the beginning. Let's come to the beginning. Alternatively, if you want to know, let's come and check. Okay, let me see. So this is like, I'm coming. Yeah. So let's do something. Let's come here. Let's now press so this network days remaining, then working day remaining. So we now come over here, we now say equal to, when I type net. So we check it, they say network. We have network days, we have network days international. So returns the number of all work days between 2 days. So it returns, now it returns the number of all work days between 2 dates. That means that when you want to, in those dates, like from let me see, I'm coming, yeah. So from here, from the delivery date to the today's date, from the delivery date to today's date, it's telling us how many working days. Okay, how many working days is that from the delivery date to today's date? Now let's also look at something. You have, okay, to make it easier for you to assimilate it, let's say that we have a project. The project is that we are supposed to bake cake for a certain couple. They are getting married, right? They are getting married. So this is the date we are supposed to deliver the cake. So let's change this thing to let me change this thing to another something. So let's say we have we got a contract and we're supposed to supply them cake for their marriage, right? So you know the date you are supposed to deliver the product. However, you need to know how many days is remaining for you to deliver that product. So how many days is remaining for you to deliver the product? So we have it like this. So now, yeah, you know the date that they say by that day we'll deliver this product. Oh. So this makes sense now. By this date, we are expecting the cake. We are doing our wedding on the 31st of December 2026. And as of today, you're asking yourself that, okay, how many days is remaining? You are trying to count how many days is remaining for me to deliver that thing so that you can use that to plan. Either you need to rush it, either you can still take it slowly, there's no issue, or you need to move faster. Okay. So you have the date that the target day that you need to deliver the job, right? So there's a date that you need to deliver the job. Then you now put your today's date here to equal to today. To then you now say, okay, how many days is remaining for me to deliver this job? How many days is remaining for us to get to 31st December of 2026? Hold on. Oh. Okay, so this is the date. Yeah, so December is still in the future. So I was confused. So how many days is remaining for me to deliver this cake? I know that the delivery date, they say I should deliver it by 31st of December. That's the date that they are doing the wedding, and I need to deliver that day. So as of today, how many days do I actually have? Okay, that is what you're going to do. So it's not say the delivery date here, the today's date here, then you're not going to put equal to this minus this to know how many days is actually remaining. So that's how we were able to do that. So that's how we're able to achieve that. Okay. So if you have something to do on the 31st of December 2026 and you are here today, let's say that people that are writing exam, okay, so people who write exam in November, let's just assume a date for November. Okay, you want to know how many dates is remaining for the exam to kick off. So people that are writing ICANN exam, some will even write it in May. So let's say that, okay, they want to write exam in May, and we are, so let's say in May, I'm not so sure about the date they're going to write it. So let's say that today is, okay, we know today's date, equal to today will give us. So let's say the date of that exam is, let's say it is, let's say on the 8th. So I think the Is it the month? Month comes first. So months, January, February, March, April, May. That is 5th. They will not say maybe on the 8th of May, maybe that is the date that they are going to write the exam. When I say 2026, we can also ask ourselves, what day did this thing fall into? Remember, most of these things that we're learning is not just for play. Let's say, what date did it fall into? Let it not be Sunday, because I can never set the exam on Sunday. So when I say text, we open our bracket, then we select where the data is. We select where the data is. We put a comma. We now put our whatever. We now put D. We close the place, and then we now close the bracket. We put enter, and it's telling us that okay, this date is on Friday. Is it possible that I can put the first paper on Friday? Most times they put it on Tuesday, or I think most times their exam is always on Tuesday, right? Tuesday. I think most times the exam is always on Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah. So we now say that since we don't know, so we need to reduce from 8. We are going to get Tuesday. That is a Friday, Thursday. So Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that means we reduce it by, let's say this is 5. Let's change this to 5. 5. Okay, so this is it. Yeah, so you can see. So now exam is, let's assume exam is taking place here. Another exam is taking place here also. Let's also check what date will give us Tuesday. So let's say equal to text. We open our bracket. We select the date, the data, right? Then we now put a comma, open the quotes, then D, close the quotes, then close the bracket and put enter. So this is Monday, fine. So since this is Monday, then that is all we want to achieve. We want a date that is below 30. So what day can we get to be Friday? We need to reduce this by okay, so Monday, Sunday, I'm going to reduce a lot. So Monday by 7. Let's reduce by 7. Let's see what happens. So when I say this is 20, is it 23rd? Oh, what am I doing? Ctrl Z. Okay, so that's not what I want to achieve. This is what I want to achieve. Yeah. Oh, escape. Then I come over here. I want to take this now and extract 7 days from it. We will have 23. Okay, so let's keep it like this. Why is this not giving me the answer? Is this still Monday? So let's make it 24 then. Let's say this is 24. Okay, so we say this is 24. Okay. Yeah, so this is Monday. So let's assume the first exam for me is coming up on this date, right? And then the other exam is coming up on this date. And then we're asking ourselves, how many days? If you want to write, let's assume somebody that is preparing for the exam and you want to write the exam, and today is already February, right? Today is February already. So obviously you can see that we have like 90 days to the exam, which is crazy. Like 90 days to the exam. That is if they even want to write it on the 5th, which is not, it may not be on the 5th, maybe to the front, right? So it may be more than 90 days, but we are just estimating that, okay, 90 days to the exam. Then if they're writing in November and we predict that they're writing it on the 24th, then we can say we have 293 days to the exam. So that is that. Then you also ask yourself, what about the working days? The working days, right? The working days, you are putting the network days to get the, not weekend is not there. We are taking away the weekend. You just want only the working days, Monday to Friday. So that is how you're going to get how many working days is remaining to the exam. That is what this is achieving for us. So network days is telling you how many days to that particular thing, how many working days to that particular date you're trying to achieve. So that's how we're able to achieve all this. And I'm sure that you all understand it, and then we can move away from here. So you understand what I'm saying. There is a target date. There's a date that you are writing your exam, and you are today already. You want to tell how many days do I have left to the exam. simply come and put the date of the exam, put today's date here equal to today, open your column and whatever, your bracket and all that. Once you've done that, then here you're just simply going to say the date that you're going to write the exam minus today. They're going to tell you the numbers of days as so many, right? So even if you want to write your exam in May, know that there's not much time. If you want to write your exam in November, there's still time. Okay, so that's that. So this is how to keep track of things that we want to do. So we've seen what the network days is. So let's go to the bottom and see what they are doing over here. So at the bottom, we have today's date equal to today. So we have today's date. We are supposed to put today's date here. Okay, I'm supposed to put today's date here. So let's put equal to today here. Or let me check if there's any other thing. No. So here is today's date. So we say equal to, equal to today. Then we open our bracket and we close the bracket. So that's how to get today's date. Then we also come here, we do this for here, we do this for here. That is fine. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to say this formula is saying, hold on. Yeah, so this is saying yes. So C50 minus that. Come, let me also check again. Here is saying okay, so here, what you're going to put here now, you are trying to say you want to add 3 days. You want to say, yeah, so you want to, so this is today's date now. This is today's date. You want to say, okay, today's date plus how many days? Let's say today's date now plus the next 90 days. What will it give me? So today's date plus 100 days, for instance, today's date plus 100 days from now. What will I have? So what you're going to do, you're going to come here, you're going to say, oh, okay, there's a formula there already. There's a formula here as well. There's a formula here as well already. So they've imputed the formula already. So we are simply saying today's date plus 100 days. You're going to get what that day will be. So maybe this is 15th of May 2026. So you are just trying to like, you are trying to predict what will that future day be. So you are adding a number to today's date. Adding a number to today's date, and you're going to get this. So let's say here I have an event in the next 28 days. So I say, okay, today is already 4th of February. What date will that be? 28 days from now. So you add your 28 days to today's date. So that is March. That is 4th of March. Mute your mic if you are just joining the call. Mute your mic. So that is how we're able to achieve all these things. So all these things are very easy, and that is that. So let's check the last thing that is here, which is here. The last thing that is here is talking about year, which is C10 minus year C9. We're going to get C10 minus year C9. So we have to get how many year is that. So this is always very easy. Now to get, okay, how many years is that? Maybe maybe this is what you do. This year, or today's date, right? So let's say equal to today year. Let's put today's date here. Though we are not supposed to put a formula there, but we are trying to ask yourself that these dates minus that date to get the numbers of, now this is a date now, 6th of April 2013 and 6th of 2017. So let's assume somebody finished school in the year 2000, right? Maybe you finished school in the year 2000, then you maybe finish school on the 4th. So you know, like the first number is the month. On the 4th of June, right? Year 2000 was when you finished your exam. Let's assume that was when you finished your exam. 2000, right? So that's when you finish your exam. So why is it showing 00? 2000, okay, 2000, yes, that is the last digit that is showing. Then today date, today is actually 4th, no, 2/4/2023. 2026. So you are trying to ask yourself that how many years ago did I finish my exam? So did I finish? So look at it. Now they are just saying this one minus this one. So all these are just simple things to do to know what you are trying to do instead of counting with your hand. June, this, that. Instead of you counting with your hands, don't forget that this is a date, 4th of June, and this is 4th of February. Okay, so to tell you how many years, is it possible? Can it be 26 years? Will it be? Yes, it's 26 years. Yes, accurately 26 years. So 2020 to 2026 is 26 years. So you can see that it's accurate. So that's how to get that done. So we're able to look at all these things, and there's nothing that is difficult that we cannot do. So what I'm going to do is that I will send us this our template so that majority of us can still use it to practice. It's very important for you to practice everything that you are learning. Are we together? Are we together?
Yes, sir. Yes, we are together. We are with you.
All right. So let's move further to another day. So we have looked at network days, right? So to get your network days, you're asking yourself that how many working days is remaining, right? Just like we went to the top here, we are Trevor asks a general question. How many days is remaining? So we already know that the delivery day, the day that we have to deliver the job is this date, but this is today's date. So from today's date to that day, how many days is remaining? We already know. And to now know how many network days is remaining, just say equal to network days, open your bracket, then where do you click on? I'm coming, let me check. Like, are you selecting range? Yeah, you are selecting range. H to G. H to G. H, comma, G, comma. Okay. So that's how you do it. H, comma, and G, comma. So when you're using most of these things, when you're using dates, remember, you have to start from the left to the right, and not from the right to the left, right? You have to go from the left to the right. So that's why they take H3, they put a comma, then they also now took G3 before they close their bracket. So if you also check for the dates that we also did, you also see that they were doing it from the left hand side to the right. Okay, so don't do it from the right to the left. You're going to miss it. Do it from the left, a comma, the next one, a comma, the next one, a comma. That's exactly what they also did for the network that they are trying to do. They will say equal to network days. Open your brackets. Then we are trying to check how many network days we have from today. Yes, from today now to 5th of May 2026. So you are going to say network days. Open your bracket. Now select this, put your comma, select this. Then you close your bracket, and that's how you're able to get that sorted. So let's now check network days. What is the difference? Network days. So just like the way we have count if, then we have count ifs. Count if and count ifs. So let's now check here. This is our formula. We have a public holiday here. A public holiday is happening on the 1st of May 2015, according to what was imputed here. 1st of May 2015. Then the next one, we have start date, the day that they started the whatever, the day that they started either the holiday, right? Then the date that they ended the holiday. So you want to ask yourself, how many network days do we have between the day they started the whatever to the date that they stopped? So you can come over here. You can see the formula that was used. They now say equal to network days. Naturally, you do that, you have to select, put a comma, select, put a comma, right? So the first thing they did is that they selected D3, they put a comma, then they also selected E3. So this is it. Now, when your start date is 1st of May 2015, then the higher date is 31st of sorry, I'm saying March, 1st of May, right? 2015. Then the higher date is 31st May 2015. So you take it from the lowest to the highest. So that's why they took this one, put a comma. Then they also took this one, they put a comma, right? So once they are done with that, then the next thing they now went to do is that they also went to now select the total holidays that we have. So now we are saying that okay, from this start date to this end date, right? We know that 1st of May is an holiday. 29th of May is also an holiday. So in this from this date to from the 1st of May to the 30th of May, how many holidays was there? And out of it, how many days was actually the actual work days that they have? So that's what they did here. They simply say, okay, from year to year, we are going to get the network days. They will now going to select this range of data that from this date to this date, there was holiday. From 1st of May is an holiday. 29th of May also is an holiday. So they selected this two range, and then that is what they now did to tell us that, okay, the working day, since we've highlighted that May 1st is an holiday, 29th of May also is another holiday, it's now telling us that it's actually 19 days that we have. But let's not try and do something. Let's not consider this range. Let's see the normal day, the normal working days that we ought to have had if we didn't indicate that 1st of May is an holiday and 29th of May also is an holiday. Let's check. We now say equal to, we now say net work days. We open our bracket. We now say these. We put our comma. We also select these. Then we now close the bracket. We now click on enter. So naturally, we would have had like 21 working days. So if you minus 2 days, from it, you're still going to get 19. So it showed that we highlighted that this date and this date, they are holiday. So when it's not checking from 1 to 31st, it's going to identify that 2 days were actually holidays. So therefore, the only working days that's going to be available from that day to that date is actually 19 days. So this also helps us. Maybe you are an HR person, you needed to keep track of the actual working days that is available in a month. Okay, the actual work days that is available in a month, taking into account the holidays that you have in that month. Then you want to now get how many working days do I have in this month so that you can plan. Then you can come and do this formula and then you are good to go. Okay, is there any question? Is there any question that we need to answer? So why I'm asking you that, let me quickly go to the beginning and let's go and check that our function information. So under our function information, what have we done? We have done the date, whatever. We've done the date, we've done the today, we've done the now, we've done the network days, we've done the work day. Right. So since we've done all these, then I now saw that they are going straight to they're not coming back to the statistical function again. You know, there are some things that they are coming back to the mathematical function again. Sorry, they came back to the math function again. We did not do product before, which is simple. We didn't do round, we didn't do this one, we didn't do this one, which I said I was giving us as assignment. I think that's what we are going there to now do now. So let's go back to that place and let's see. Okay, so we'll be able to do this one. So for product is always very easy. The product is to just say this times this. That's product. To get product is to say you are multiplying. So this is product, right? So to get product, right, we are multiplying this times this naturally. But instead of you to do it manually, the way we normally do it, we say equal to this times this. That is manual. You can also use a formula. There's a product formula that is just equal to product. Select the way the data ranges. We are checking G3. This is our G3. Okay, to H3. That means that you are multiplying 5 by 45. So that is you're saying the product. Give me the multiplication of 5 times 45. That's what you're saying. With this thing, you say equal to product. You're saying equal to multiplication of 5 and 45. That's what product is saying. So use product formula in place of trying to multiply manually. Just use equal to product, select where you want to multiply, right? And then you are good to go. This is as straight as ABC, straightforward. So the product is also a math function. It multiplies all the numbers given as argument and returns the product. So that is that. What do you use in it? You always use only numbers. You cannot multiply text. Unlike other things that we've looked at, that you might need to use text in your formula, but here it's only numbers that you're going to use when you are trying to multiply. So the data range, you're selecting only numbers. So after that, we now come to round, right? We come to round. At times, you have some numbers, and then you want to round it. You want to round. Let's check what they're saying. This is round. When you're rounding, what are you actually doing? So round is actually a math function. Rounds a number to a specific number of digits. That means you're going to specify the number of digits that you want to round it to, right? So you want to specify the number of digits you want to round it to. Then what does it work with? It works with numbers and number of digits. We now come over here. We have the value and we have what we want to round it to. So here, if you check where the data is F3, right? Our data is on F3. So we're going to put our formula here. We want to round it up to a certain number. If you check here, they say round it to, we are taking the data here, we want to round it up to the nearest 0. So when I say equal to, then we now say where the data, we now call what we want to do, we want to round. We now open our bracket. We select where the data is. This is where the data I want to round is. We put a comma. We now put 0. We now close the bracket, and then we click on enter. So you can see it rounded the decimal to there is no decimal at all. That's what this 0 is talking about. But if you want to round it up to 2 decimal place, you can simply come and put, instead of putting 0 here, you can simply put 2 here. So just put 2 here, and automatically, what is happening? So it's supposed to round it off to 2 decimal place, I guess. So why is it not giving me what I want? Round, okay? Round. All right, so for the round, we're going to look at round up. So I think for the round, it's just a normal formula that takes away every other thing, okay? So they say that, let's look at what it does again. Let's go and check what it does again. It rounds a number to a specific number of digits, right? So here, it's rounded to 0. That means there's no digit at all. So that means when you're using round, if you're not using round up or round down, it will not do all those things. So when you're saying round, you're just rounding it what? To 0. Everything is going to come to 0. So let's come here and change it back to 0. 0. If you try 3 or 5, let's see, or let's say 3 or 5, you see the same thing. So round does not, round will always round it off, okay, to 0, round it up to the whole number. So it's round it up to whole number. That's what round does, okay? So that it round it off to whole number. It doesn't round, you round it up to whole number and all that. So that's what it does. You round it up to whole number. So let's now look at the next one, which is round up. When you're rounding up, what are you doing? So when you're doing round up, as the name implies, so I think the formula is the same, but it's just a function name that is different. The function name is what will tell you what you're trying to do. The function name is what will tell you what you are trying to achieve. So let's come here. Let's say equal to, we now say round, I'm coming to round up. When you say round up, you open your brackets, right? Then you now select the place the data is. Select where the data is, which is F3. Then you now put your comma and put your 0. Then you close the bracket and put enter. So now, now it's rounding it up. So whether the number here is not up to 5 or not, even if what is here is actually after the decimal, even if what is here is let's say is 1, you still round it up. If you round this thing up and it will change this one to 8, so you now have 398. right? Let's look at one. Let's look at this one now. This one here. Let's come and copy this formula. We copy this formula. We now put it all over here. We put Ctrl V, and you now see. So even if the number after the decimal, even if it's not up to 5, you know, naturally, if a number before the decimal must be up to 5 before we can round up. But yeah, whether the number is up to 5 or not, what we want to achieve is that we just want to round up and just let's have all numbers. We don't want any decimal at all. We just want all numbers. So what you do is that you now say round up. That's all. Select the area where the data is, put a comma, put 0, close the bracket, and that is all. And that's how we're able to achieve all these things that we have right. So when you're rounding up, whether the number is not up to 5 or not, you're going to round it up. But if you are doing just normal round, if the number is not up to 5, it will not round it up. You can see it. So this number here is not up to 5. If you even say you want to round up 7, 7 will round up as 1, and this becomes 3, right? So 3 is not up to 5. You cannot round it up. So round will only give you the right way to round, right? The right way you normally round, the round will give you the answer. But if you just want to, whether it's up to or it's not up to, you just want to round up, use round up. Whether it's not, so now this is round down. So for round down, right, you don't want to have, so let's quickly use it. Let's come here. Let's say equal to round down, right? You now open your bracket, select where the data is. Once you select where the data is, then you put a comma and always put 0. That is the formula. Then close it and put on enter. So here you are rounding it down. So let's come here. Let's put Ctrl tilde. You're rounding it down. Ctrl tilde. Sorry, I'm saying Ctrl tilde. Sorry. Ctrl D. Sorry, it's Ctrl D. I'm pressing, and then we are rounding it down. So I think on this note, we are done with our class. We have 5 minutes to go. So I just want to give us time to ask questions in case there's any question you want to ask before we wrap it up for today. Is there any question you want to ask? Was this class informative? Have you been able to gain 1 or 2 things? So you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much. I heard you mentioning one name, Ctrl tilde. Is it tilde? It looks strange.
Yeah, so it means that you've not been in this class for some times.
Yeah, this is my first time.
Okay, so whenever you have formulas in your worksheet and then you want to see all the formula in your worksheet, just press Ctrl tilde. Let me show you what tilde is. When you come here, you want to see what tilde is. Tilde is something like this. Let me show us. So can you see tilde?
Okay.
So that's tilde. So Ctrl tilde. Look for where tilde is. Tilde is always under your escape key. You check your keyboard under your escape key. That is where tilde is. It's close to number 1. So when you press your control key and now press the tilde key as well, look at what it does. Ctrl tilde. So it now shows you all the places in your worksheet where there are formulas. They show you everything. Okay, the formulas that you've used. So if I come to another place also and I press Ctrl tilde, you will also see. Then to go away from displaying like that, just simply go and press Ctrl tilde again, and it goes away. So this is the formula. Control, then plus tilde, the tilde. So that's it. So Ctrl tilde. So this enables you to see all the formulas in your worksheet, all the formulas. Then to go away from that view, you can press Ctrl tilde again, and it go away from that view. Okay. So that means that if somebody that does not know Excel mistakenly press Ctrl tilde, the person will be dead tomorrow. He won't know what to do. Yeah, so you will not know what to do. So, and you know Excel now. Once you off your Excel, your keyboard, so your system, when you put it on again, it can still go back to the same place, and you see continue the same battle. Okay, imagine you just press Ctrl tilde like this, and then or you send your report to your Oga, and then your Oga does not know Excel. Then while your Oga was working on it, or he mistakenly pressed Ctrl tilde by accident. You call you now and say, what's wrong? What's this thing you sent me now?
Okay.
You forget that he was the one that made the mistake that make it to happen like that. You just say, boss, what is this thing you send me now? Why is it showing like this? Okay, so that's that. Any other question, please? before we go, any other question? So let's go back to our function information. I believe this class has been interactive and very informative. So we've looked at the logical function. For those people that are just joining, we look at the logical function. You need to go back to other videos that we've done. They are all on our YouTube page, and make sure you subscribe to that page. It's very important. We are not charging you any money for any of these. Okay, even the Zoom book training that is coming up, this starting on Saturday by 8 to 10. Okay, Zoom book training is starting by 8 to 10 on Saturday. We are only doing it for February. Okay, Saturday to Sunday till February ends, right? So that is what we want to use for that training, and we hope that a lot of people that don't know how to use any accounting software, once you can learn an accounting software, if I take you the accounting software, you are not only going to become proficient in that accounting software, you can set up accounting software for companies, okay? Because we're going to go into details, everything that we need to know in that training, how to set it up, how to do your chart of account, how to upload, how to export your chart of account and everything. You know, when you have any company, you need to determine the chart of account. That's the first thing you need to determine for any company. What is the chart of account of that company? And then when you can get that chart of account into any software, then the next thing you want to now do is that you want to now start working on the items that you want to sell. Is it a product or is it a service? Then you also now talk about the vendors. You talk about that is the trade creditors, the vendors. Some of them will be credits. Some of them will be your creditors. Some of them will be a direct vendor, that's a cash vendor. Then we'll also talk about the customers, right? So and all that. So just make up your mind. If you know you want to join the training, and that is that. So we'll look at the logical function. We've looked at the statistical function. We looked at the date function as well. So let me quickly come here and also paint it. So we are looking at what we've done. So after we have done with this material, then we now check all that things that are not in this material. Okay. So we look at all these. Then we've also looked at the mass function. We look at all these things that are here. So since we've done all these, the next thing that is outstanding on this worksheet, we have VLOOKUP, we have the text function. Don't also forget that I told us that we are still coming back to look at how to have the headers for your page in case you want to print out, how to have headers for your page, how to also have page numberings, okay, for whatever you want to print out from your Excel so that it looks very professional. We're going to do that also as the time proceed. So I feel that is all. We're done. Thank you, everybody, for staying tuned. If you know you have any question, you have 2 minutes to ask it now before we go. 2 minutes. Any question? Okay, I believe the class was engaging, and I believe we all gained 1 or 2 things. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That is the only thing that we require of you. It goes a long way to assist us. Thank you, everybody.